Welcome students. Today we will learn accessioning work, how we are doing in libraries. I am Dr. P.K. Bhattacharya. I am Senior Fellow and Associate Director at TERI. Basically in our libraries, we perform accessioning work every day, and our colleagues and myself, having experience in doing accessioning in library material for years, more than 20 years from now on. Now today our courses outline will be why accessioning is required. We should know first, because the important thing here is that whenever library get any document, so those documents needs to be actually coming as a property of our libraries. So that is important, that why we need accessioning, that we should learn today. Then accessioning register, what is it, how it should be maintained, and who should maintain, where to put, how to put, all those things we have to mention there. Then accessioning policies, how a library, of course there are some local variation, but there has to be some accessioning policies that we need to know. Then process of library accessioning, this is important, that how exactly we do accessioning, and during the entire course of action we will do all sorts of examples so that you understand how exactly these are done. Now when we see why accessioning, so that means library acquired several materials, so they are actually property of our library. Now property of library should have some some ownership, some records. So accessioning is nothing but those records. Library should have their inventory in some form or others. So these records actually give ownership of all those documents. It could be book material, it could be non-book material, printed, electronic material, whatever you say. So it should have that particular ownership. Accessioning gives ownership to this material to libraries. Accessioning policies support proper inventory management. So how exactly we should process, so that is basically giving here. And accessioning work is a routine process. Over the years people develop expertise. Whenever any new colleague joins, so they are also getting enrolled in the process, and they are also getting expertise. So this way it happens. And accessioning number is unique to each of the document. Like your name is unique to your family members. Similarly, for each document we give a accessioning number, which is either in hard copy or in soft copy, whatever you say. So these accessioning numbers are very well defined. So that's the way. Now let us first identify what all we need to actually accession. So from the library material, it could be printed or not printed material, non-printed material. It could be book, it could be non-book material. Now under the book I have written, it could be reprints, government publications, reports, posters and different other things. In the non-book section you have periodicals, journals, magazines, pamphlets, maps, theses, charts, catalogs, so what not, many other things. Non-printed case you have slides, films and several other things. So all these things are actually property of library. So when you put accession, so you have to accession each of them. So it's not that you will be accessioning only the books and not the other kind of document. So not that way. If you have decided that your library won't keep any of these material, some of these material, so that you need not to accession. How otherwise, every item we consider in library as a capital item, and we have to give it a proper shape and proper ownership. We have to have on that particular document, and as a result you expect that each of these documents will have a dedicated accession number. Accession register is something which is the first step we should understand what is that. Now accession register is a document. Normally it is a hardbound document. So that is a basic record keeping activities for the libraries. In general, library has one register or maybe multiple register for multiple types of document. Now, where types means sometime we purchase documents, sometime we get something in as gift, sometime we receive something in exchange, or somebody deposit. So, there are several things. Then there are types of material like book that has a different accession register, journals or magazines have a different, similarly CDs are different. So that way different type of material require different accession register. Now if your library is a very small one, so you need not to have more than one register, maybe you can separate it out with a flags. But if your libraries are huge library where thousands and lakhs of collections are there, so then you need multiple accession register. While you are procuring books, so you develop a book record in a form that we called as a book selection card. Now so that card normally we transferred convert into the accession card and filled in the accession number sequence, means on that card we will write the accession. I will show you examples also. Now physical details of non-book material are different than the books or physical books. Different type of material that we have as a documents, so that has a different kind of metadata, or you can say different type of documentation we do, physical details we do for each of the type of material. Now this is like accession register, a sheet. If you see that library accession registers looks like this, and in the back of the book we call it inside the jacket, we actually at the back we create a jacket, and inside that this book card always remains here. So these are two examples of different two book cards. That's what I am showing here. Now this is actually a accession register looks like. You can see multiple columns, and each of the column has a different name and purpose also. So that I will tell you in detail when I will be discussing about how to do accessioning. But most importantly here you can see that in the left hand side you find 1, 2, 3, 4. So there is a serial number goes on. These serial numbers actually are the accession numbers. Now if you are putting any document under any serial number here, so that serial number has to be printed on the accession card also, on the book also, in the barcode also. So that becomes unique number to that particular book. So here whenever you will be filling up any entry, you are not going to skip any lines, so that each of this number allotted to a unique book. Now this is example of accession register of your periodicals. And these days majority of the libraries are looking for online resources, and not only online resources, so they are procuring documents in electronic form. So as a result what happens, that library is becoming hybrid day by day. Hybrid means not only the hard copy, but we will also keep soft copy. So in order to make our library procedures much more easier and faster, so we normally process. So you must have been heard of several library automation software. Now in the library automation software, so this database they contains some barcode as a term. So that is basically taking the call number of the book as well, or the document, as well as the accession number. So this I have marked here, that this could be as you can consider as a accession register in a electronic form, in the form of a database or library automation software. You can have this. Now for beginners, so for accessioning to start in library, there are certain prerequisite. Now prerequisite means Library collect both book and non-book material, that we all know. Libraries also acquire electronic material, both online and offline. So what we are getting, as I have mentioned, several types of documents we get, and that also in different formats, not only printed but also non-print format. Now, type of collection, where we get either purchase, we purchase it, we get it as a gift or as a membership, we receive it, and or exchange, we get it, and several others, also. We will learn how we receive these documents in our acquisition section, course in detail later on. Now, accession prerequisite also tells you that purchase documents have high value. So that purchase documents you have to have, actually you have to accession. Now, here actually we want to mention that not everything we need as a need to accession. A library may receive thousands and thousands of documents, but not all documents are required to be accessioned. Purchase documents are of high value, so they may associated with CDs or with maps or with some other charts. So those things need to be accessioned and properly put in the library. But we receive so many things as gratis or in exchange program or as a membership, but some of them, or maybe different type of organizations they send us, or different publishers they send their catalogs and what not. So all those things, whatever coming to library without any price tag, so that we call as gift or gratis material. Now, in gratis material, there are some good books or good material, some are not so good or not relevant for us. So basically what we have to do, that we have to preserve very selectively. So in this particular case, we consider something, we outrightly reject something because which are not required at all. Some are temporary gratis, some are gratis. Gratis means those things we will be putting in the library collection and we required to do accessioning. In temporary gratis also we maintain a list, but that maybe we can keep for 2 to 3 months or 6 months, and thereafter we discard those things because that do not have any long term shelf value. Serials, and there are series of books that comes along with volume number, issue number, and number of in the series there is a couple of or maybe 3-4 documents are there as part of that series. Now those books and series, these are considered complete when all the materials have been published and have come to your library. So serial becomes a complete volume only after receipt of all issues. Books published in parts, maybe volume 1, volume 2, volume 3, because several encyclopedia, library and information science encyclopedia, so that actually published in 17 volumes. There are several such encyclopedia published in several volumes. So whatever you get as a part of the published document, so that will have a running page number. Running page number means that if a first volume completes in 200 pages, then the next volume starts begin with 201 number page from that there onwards. So they become complete only when all parts are published. Now accession policy, if you see, there are certain criteria you have to follow, because when this is particularly one thing you have to remember, that purchase documents actually we purchase based on our library's objective, that whatever is there, there should not be any duplicacy, there should not be any old document we purchase unless it is required. Quality of the document we have to ensure. Then recency of the document, value to library collection, that is most important. So whenever we want to purchase anything, so it requires to be seen, or before actually accessioning gratis documents, it needs to be seen that while whether we are fulfilling all these criteria, that is what is the quality of documents, because people send you free of cost. So whether that quality is good or bad, recency of the document, so that is important. Duplication means if that document is already in library and that you don't think there we need more than one copies of that document, so duplicacy you won't, so that means this document will be rejected. Value, if it creates value to your library, even if it is a catalog, even if it is a small booklet, we will definitely keep it for long. Importance of the document, so that's what I am mentioning, that value and importance of that particular document for the library is very important. And then one more thing, that is many a times we receive some documents by some noted personality, or maybe noted organization, or maybe from your very senior and reputed personality. So just to please them, sometime we have to accession them and keep inside the library their collection. So we can find several such collection in Asiatic Society, in Delhi University, in our National Law University, everywhere. In our library also we have Professor T.N. Khushu's document collection, so on environment. So that's how we are actually having all sorts of policies. Now continuing to in the accessioning policies, what we see that whether there should be a separate accession register or not, this is a policy we have to take. First of all is the whether that book is purchased. For purchased books we have to maintain a accession register separately. Normally for a bigger library, gifts are so much that you have to actually maintain another registration accession register for gifted amount. For non-book materials like CDs etc., you can maintain a hard copy register as well as a soft copy of the register in your accession, we call them accession sheet, in your Excel and also in the library automation software. Similarly, for e-resource also you can maintain an Excel and also incorporate them in the automated accession software of your automated library software. Now smaller library, as I was mentioning, only single registration number accession register will do, but for larger library we need longer, more number of accession registers. Now when you talk about the accession policy further, so whether records about the price of foreign publications be kept, whether we should put them or not put them. Now should they be converted in Indian rupees or write in the foreign currency itself? Now there are local variation in library, but one thing is sure that if book is foreign, price is given in foreign currency, you have to write the foreign currency only. So normally Indian rupees it fluctuates as per the exchange value, it fluctuates. So whatever you put, so if you are putting accession in the accession number against the accession number every books price, so you have to actually give this rupee price converted value also, but then you have to give the exchange rate as well. Should there be printed price or actual price be paid? Now what happens that whenever we purchase a book, we normally get a price printed on it, but then we ask for discount from the user, now from the bookseller. Now if it is a 20% discount or 15% discount you are getting, some books you are not getting any discount at all, but if you are getting discounted rate, so you have to put both. That means actual printed price and what price you have actually paid. Now, why this is important, both the thing? Because at the end of the year you have to give a audited record that what is your books library's value, collection value in rupee term. So then that such kind of actual amount paid helps us to get those particular thing. Whether author's name should be written in inverted form or appear in the title page as it is. So that is a normal ACR rule we follow, that is first name of the author comes next to the surname. So that's how we actually write in the accession register as well. Whether series or volume to be mentioned, yes, they need to be mentioned in the accession register. Should duplicate copies have same number? No, never, because each individual document is separate. So if two copies are there, both have different numbers, that will make them unique in such way. Should accession number be allocated beforehand for series and volumes? Now this is very interesting thing. Many library already know that they will be getting 20 volume of a series of a document. Now they can actually if they want, now that is not going to come to library all at a time. So what rather will do that it come to library at different time, but you want them to be registered in your accession register together. So in that case, librarian can actually, or the person who is maintaining the accession register can keep this 20 serial number vacant for future entry of all these series documents. So that can be done definitely, and in our library also we do it, and many libraries does this, because that gives a good feeling later on that all the books are mentioned in a single place, which has same title but with different volume number or series number. Now how to get price of a gifted book? Normally gifted book do not have any price. So in the actual paid amount, so in that column there has to be no price written, but similar type of books if purchased, so you can get an idea of what is the price of this book could be. So you can mention this in the accession register. But why we need this? Because later on, if this books is destroyed, misplaced, or whatever happen, if you want to weed out this book, then you need to give this number that this much worth book is missing. So there you need price of this gifted books as well. Now come to the how exactly you will do the processing of your accession documents. So books etc., when they are receiving in the library, but when they come to library, so they transfer to the acquisition section, from there to the accession section. So along with the bill, because bill needs to be accessioned as well. So when you get all those documents, so it might so happen that you get 3-4 bills together with 20 books. Each bill may contain 3 to 4 or maybe 10 books together. Now what you have to do, you have to arrange the books based on those bills according to the serial number put in the bills. So that is first of all is the task. So then according to each bill you will put accession number. Each book is examined for its defects like edition, their pagination, whether they are having any binding problems or not, whether same authors have books have been delivered, because ultimately you are getting this book delivered by a bookseller, so you need to check if there is any kind of defects there. So if it is there, so you have to return these books. If not, so then they consider to be accessioned and for further processing, book processing. Now checking presence of insert, like many documents when we purchase it, it contains CDs, maps, charts, etc. Now whether those are there or not, if not, then you have to ask the bookseller to provide you all those. Then bibliographic information of the book recorded in the accession register, as I have shown you, there are several columns, so you have to put all the column. there or in the database form. Now, in Terry library, you can see that this is the hard copy registration number we maintain, as well as soft copy we mention in the form of a documentation in our library. So, there has to be a accession number, then author, title of the books, then publisher and place, then year of publication, pages, then printed price, existing price, like whatever is printed, always that may not be the existing price also, because they might, because of demand of the book or non-availability of the book, price might escalate or reduced. So that is, or maybe second hand books if you are purchasing, so existing price might be lower. So then after that you get discount, how much discount you got, and ultimately actual price you paid. So everything you have to write in a single different columns. Then there has to be a voucher number, because whenever you are asking for books, so they are sending you an invoice along with the books for approval, for particularly for purchase documents. Now that you have to keep when you actually decided that you will be purchasing it, so they will send you a separate bill number and date also. So then call number also you have to write. Call number is nothing but actually the classification code we follow, either DDC or UDC or any other format. Now then date of entry is important. Now remarks is important if it is a part of a series. If it has 2, 3 CDs or charts, that kind of things, or maybe the second volume will publish later on, such kind of remarks if you want to put. So for accession register, that process is always there. Now when you are accessioning book, so you have to stamp it also. So this is a type of stamp we actually use for our accession number. Now this is accession register maintaining in the form of a database. This is record of accession document. You have already document in automated system. So that's how it is being recorded there. In many of our library use Koha. So Koha has barcode facility, call number facility, document number facility. So that is basically you have to write as against that you have to write your accession number. Now coming back to accessioning process again, where do we put this accession number? That is most important. Now what exactly happened that in case of books and serials, so you have you have to put accession number in several places. First of all, in the title page, in the verso of the title page. So there you have to put accession number. Last page where book are to be issued, so there you have to put the accession number along with the accession card that I have shown you in earlier. So that has to be prepared, and inside the jacket you have to put that, because when that book will be issued or journal will be issued, so that they can be you can keep in track of that particular thing. Then some libraries also put accession stamp in a specific page that we call as a secret page. Why this is required? Because sometimes what happens that people are not everybody do not have a good intention. If a person wants to take this book without permission properly, so he might or she might actually remove the title page as well. Now in such case what happen that if this kind of thing happens, even then your book remains safe if there is a accessioning of your library accession stamp is there in a secret page. Now for bound serials, what happened that actually when serial comes, they comes in the loose form. So when all issues come to library, we count them as a bound serial. Separate accession number has to be given for that purpose, because in loose journals you provide one accession number, but when you bound them, so they are considered normally as a book. So you have to given them as a separate accession number, and that has to be treated like a book. Barcode are very important these days, because that helps us issue return or circulation section much better way. So accessioning of after putting the accessioning number, so you can do barcoding also, and that actually can remains. So, this is how in the cover page of the book you are putting your barcode, you can see, and this is how you are actually preparing the book card for along with the accession number. Once these accession numbers are put and books are through, so what happens that these bills what you receive from the bookseller, so these bills need to be accessioned as well. How? That this along with the bill you have to create a document, and there you have to put the which number to which number, actually first to last accessioned books. So, you have to put those numbers, and under each of the item listed in the bill you have to put a accession number as well. So, that actually linked this particular bill along with the document you created, and then take permission from your superior that you are actually processing these bills. Once these things are done, the forms and the bills are then signed by the appropriate authority, and they are transferred to account section for payment, and thereafter these books to be sent to the book processing section. That is a different thing altogether after accessioning is done. Now, last but not the least, that accession process, if you see book, serial, report, they have sometime you receive without bill as well. So, as a gratis document. Now, gratis you have to treat differently. Gratis documents are first arranged alphabetically and by author's name also before accessioning, and listed them in the accession record. Now, what happens in our library, what we do, that whenever library gratis comes, so first of all we have a predefined criteria seeing the importance of the books, as I mentioned before. So, based on those predefined criteria, we choose some books for temporary retaining purpose, some for library collection development purpose, and we reject some books. Now, categorized these books first of all, so that is gratis to be accessioned, some are for temporary and some are discarded. Once those things are done, in the separate accession register, we give a separate number beginning with GR. So, that GR actually help us to identify as gratis documents. So, every book is allocated a separate number for that. Separate accession register maintained for two types of gratis document, that is, one is temporary gratis and one is permanent gratis. So, separate accession register maintained by these two documents, and as estimated price is written in the price column for the accession register as well. So, this is how purchased books and gratis books book accession cards are prepared. This is how CDs are actually displayed in separate accession number, accession list you can see, and this is audio visual accessioning records are done in libraries. This is how barcodes are generated and they are pasted in the books, and this is exactly how we can develop a accession report at end of the month, just to understand how many books have come and how many books have been arranged in the library. So, there are certain books when we will learn more about weeding out. So, there are certain books which we need to de-accession, means whenever there is any books you are weeding out, you have to weed it out from the accession number as well. So, this is a example of a de-accessioning of the library books. So, thank you students. With this accessioning of the books, I believe that you will learn and you can practice this in your library quite well. Thank you.